What's going on, everyone? Mr. Deathwish here. So today I'm going to be talking about a subject that not a lot of people want to talk about when it comes to video games, especially video games nowadays. Um, I I have my opinion, other people have theirs, that's fine. But when it comes to video games nowadays, video games are not as fun as they used to be. Now, I'm not saying that me streaming and content creation isn't fun. It's fun, trust me. But what I mean by video games being fun is, I'm not that old. I'm 27 years old. I grew up late 90s, early 2000s. you know I remember coming home from school and just being able to sit down and play Need for Speed Underground, or NFL Street, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Guitar Hero, Burnouts, Revenge, um, just the old Grand Theft Autos, Kingdom Hearts. I never actually played Kingdom Hearts, but I saw a lot of friends play it, and I always wanted it. But just games like that. You know, the original Medal of Honors, Devil May Cry. There's so many games that were so fun back in the day, and now when you try to play a game, like especially a single player based game, it's not as fun anymore. And I think the reason, for me at least, I think the reason is because of multiplayer, online multiplayer with people from across the world. And I'm not saying that online multiplayer is a bad thing. I think it's a great thing, especially being with, the advancement in technology, um, you know, being able to play online with other people from around the world and just be able to meet, new people on a daily basis from all different places. It's a great thing, but it's also a bad thing because the gaming community all across the world has literally gotten to the point where multiplayer is a must. Not even, focusing on a single player game anymore. Like, yeah, I know there's a lot of people that play multiplayer but also play single player games, but it's not as common anymore. Like when I try to sit down and I try to play a game like Forza Horizon. All right, now let me just say this. I love Forza Horizon. I love racing games. I have ever since I played Need for Speed Underground, and I am not going to sit here and say that, Forza is a bad game, because it's not. It's a great game. It's different compared to the other racing games that are out there. It's more in depth when it comes to tuning. The graphics are more, you know, are more colorful. They're a lot better. Um, the game mechanics are all around just better, than a lot of the other racing games. But when I try to sit and I try to play a game like Forza Horizon, or even if I try to go back a few years and play Need for Speed 2015, or just in general, like any kind of game that is single player based, like I can't sit for too long and play it. I get bored very, very easily playing a story based game by myself. Like, think of it like this: when Days Gone came to PC, I was so excited. I had been wanting to play it ever since it released on PlayStation as an exclusive. And I got it when it came to PC literally the same day, the very same day. I played it for about a month and a half, and then I just stopped somehow. I don't know how. Like, I have a lot of story based games on my Steam account. I have a lot of games that are single player. I just don't play them, because multiplayer has taken over the last 10 years, you know. I think when multiplayer really really first started becoming a a thing with the gaming community to the point where a lot of people stopped playing single player games. I think it was probably around 2010, 2008, roughly. Between there when Modern Warfare 2 came out and Modern Warfare 3 came out, between that time span, I think that right there is when single player games, at least for me and a lot of people that I know, just stopped being fun. And it's really, really frustrating because if any of you know me, which a lot of you do, a lot of you know me personally, I am always playing by myself. Multiplayer games, I'm always playing by myself. I try to find other people to play with that are outside of my friend circle, and either it's a random on the game that just doesn't have a mic, or they have a mic and they don't want to communicate, or they just don't want to play as a team, or I even go into Facebook groups. I go on Twitter, I go on Discord, I go all over the place on all different kinds of social media trying to find new players to play with every day that I play, and just try to communicate with people, try to grow a friendship all across the board. That way I always have people to play with. Never happens. And I think, like I said, multiplayer, it's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing, because you have your great side of it where you get to meet new people every day, and then you have your bad portion of it where you just don't want to do anything else but play multiplayer. Now, if that's your perspective, that's fine. That's not a bad thing, but at the same time, for me, growing up, with PlayStation 1 and even Nintendo 64 and, stuff like that, coming home to play 007 GoldenEye, or Mario Kart, where you could play with friends around your neighborhood. Like, it's not the same as what it used to be. And I think it's kind of sad, but I get it. Times are changing, technology is changing, and just in general everything's changing. It's not gonna be the same anymore. But at the same time, thinking back, for those of you that are around the same age as me that grew up with that kind of stuff, you know coming home and playing a single player, or even a game where you could plug in 2 to 4 controllers, like the original Halo, for instance, or Guitar Hero, or racing games, Tony Hawk, stuff like that. You grew up coming home from school being able to do that kind of stuff in your youth. It's not like that anymore, and I feel really, really bad for the younger generation that didn't get to experience that. And that's part of why I think video games are not as fun as what they used to be. They're still fun, but they're not fun as what they used to be. And it's really sad, because I wish we had the ability to time travel and go back in time a good 15 years, 20 years, and be able to just come home from school and sit down and play your favorite game with either by yourself or, with a couple of your buddies. You know, it's just not the same, and I think that's something that's going to be very hard for me to get over for a while. I'm, that's if I even get over it. But just video games, with the rise in multiplayer, they're just not as fun as what they used to be, and I think it's kind of sad, because I really wish I had the ambition to play more single player based games. Like, I have at least 20 single player based games on my Steam account. I just don't really play them. I don't know, it's something about it. I don't really care to sit there and play single player games anymore, and I think multiplayer is the cause of it. I love multiplayer. I love being able to play with my friends that have moved out of the state that we both lived in, and moved, thousands of miles away to, Tennessee, Texas, Chicago, all over the place. I have friends that have literally grew up with me that live in other states now, and we get to play multiplayer, and it's fun, and I love it. But at the same time, I hate the fact that multiplayer has taken over, because that's all anyone wants to do nowadays is just play multiplayer. But, everyone has their opinion. This is my opinion personally. I would really like to know your opinion, how you feel about the state of video games right now. I want to know exactly how you feel about multiplayer, exactly how you feel about single player. Just in general, the current state of video games. What is your opinion? That's what I want to know. I want to have more talks like this. I want to eventually, start doing some more IRL type streams that, where everyone can just come in and we can just sit and we could talk for, however long I'm streaming for, about anything video game based, the state of video games, the state of a certain game franchise, whatever it is that is on your mind. But stuff like this, I want to talk about more stuff like this, because I think this is a subject that not a lot of people talk about. I don't really see it being talked about very often. I love video games. This is why I'm doing content creation in the first place, because I love video games, and it's a stress reliever for me. It's a escape from all the bullshit out there in the world that we all have to deal with, that we don't want to deal with. You know, I build roads for a living. I'm a surveyor. I work 10 hours a day. I work 50 hours a week, and sometimes more than that. Just depends. But my job is for the most part pretty easy, but it gets very, very frustrating, and it gets very, very exhausting. Not even just the fact that I'm out in the heat, not even just the fact that I am, swinging a 8-pound sledgehammer on a daily basis, or the fact that I'm literally playing in, 4 lanes of active traffic with semis and assholes buzzing by me. It's not even that. It's just the fact of being burnt out on a daily basis, where you just want to be able to come home in the comfort of your own home and sit down and enjoy a video game, whether it be, a single player based game or a multiplayer game with your friends. But video games are an escape for me, and they help me cope with a lot of things. A lot of people don't, a lot of people that follow me, that are sub to me, don't know this, but I I'm not very open about personal life too often, but I have a lot of mental health issues that I've been dealing with over the last, I'd say, 10 years or so, maybe a little longer. I have my own battles, just like everyone else has their own battles, but over the last couple of years they've been a lot harder to deal with, and I've been doing the best I can to cope with them, especially, when it comes to work and home being stressful at the same time. There's a lot of different things that go on in my life, where video games, or even my guitar, for instance, are just a nice escape and stress reliever, you know, and it's just something that helps me brighten up my day. Being able to sit down and enjoy something that I love to do. It's like skateboarding. I don't even really skate as much as I used to. I'm 80 pounds heavier than what I was 6 years ago. So, me trying to skateboard right now, it's a little bit harder, especially being that I don't do it as often. But it's all things that are stress relievers and coping mechanisms that help me make my day better. Video games being one of the number ones. I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old. The very first game that I played was House of the Dead. I fucking love that game. And I heard that they remastered it for the Nintendo Wii, or whatever it was that they remastered it for. I wish I could get that game on computer. I don't know if I can or not, but if I can, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna get it. But that was the very, very, very first game that I ever played, House of the Dead, and I was 3 years old. I was at an arcade and I played it for the first time. Went back to a buddy's house and found out that he had it. I can't remember what he had it for, but he had it, and I was playing it there, and I fell in love with it. From that day on, I fell in love with video games. The next game that I played after that was Top Gun Fire at Will on Windows 95. Windows 98, actually. Sorry. Moto Racer. Any of you OG, PC players, if any of you remember Moto Racer from back in the 90s, 4x4 Off Road. Like, there's so many games that I loved back in the day that just, you can't find them anymore. Space Invaders. I think that's the name of it. But there's just so many that I wish I could just turn back time and go back and play for a day. Because with the rise in multiplayer, it's not the same as what it used to be. It's really not, and it's sad to say. And I know times are changing. I know that it's never gonna be the same. But I do feel like more people should talk about it. I do feel like more people should discuss the good memories that they had as kids growing up, being able to come home and play games like that. The younger generation that doesn't get to experience that, you know, whether their parents just never got it for them or they just didn't care to have a system like that because it was too old and outdated, I really feel sorry for you because those were, in my opinion, some of the golden years of gaming, some of the greatest times in gaming. I mean, I remember when Super Mario Kart came out. I fucking loved the hell out of Mario. I still do, and I wish that I could play it more, you know. But like I said, with the rise in multiplayer, it's just not the same. So, anyways, that's the end of my rant for today. Um, I do want to have more talks like this, more videos like this. And like I said, come into live streams every time I'm live. I'm live Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 p.m. each night. If I'm late, I'll be updating everybody on Twitter. I stream till about, I'd say, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, 9 to 12, 9 to 1. Just depends on if I'm getting tired or not, but come on into the stream. Come on by, check it out, introduce yourself, tell everybody about yourself. We're building a community over here. I want to build a nice community, which is why I have my Discord server. Um, I want to build a nice community where everyone just feels welcome. They don't have to worry about backlash. They don't have to worry about any kind of negativity, people judging them. I'm very strict with my rules in my Discord server. I want to build a community full of people from across the world that just love video games, love anime, love, music. It doesn't matter what it is. I have sub channels in there for all kinds of different things, and everybody is free to come on in and make themselves at home. Just as long as you follow the rules, then you're fine. I personally, I love video games. It's one of the biggest, stress relievers for me. A lot of people don't understand that when it comes to, you know, video games. They look at it as a waste of time, or it's stupid or whatever, but I don't feel that way. It's a stress reliever for me. So, but like I said, come on into live streams, introduce yourselves, tell us about yourselves, your name, how old you are, where you're from, what inspires you in life. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm gonna inspire anybody. I may not. If I do, that's fantastic, but if I don't, then, that's okay. I'm just here to have fun and have fun with all of you that, that wanna watch. But like I said, come on into live streams and have a good time. So do me a favor, if you like the video, hit that sub button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and hit me up down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Give me your opinion on what I talked about in this video, and if you feel like I should have added some more to it. Maybe I might have missed something that that I might have overlooked or something. Just overall, give me your opinion of everything that I talked about. I want to know how everyone else feels about it, because this is a subject that, like I said before, I don't think a lot of people talk about. And on top of it, it's a very close to home subject for me when it comes to my childhood and a lot of people's childhoods, being able to come home from school, come home from soccer practice, football practice, basketball practice, whatever, and just sit down and play your favorite single player game, or game that you can play with friends around the neighborhood. Um so like I said, hit the sub button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, hit me up in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. If you want to see me live, I'm live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Eastern. Sorry, had to think about that for a second. um I usually stream about 3 to 4 hours each time. Like I said, depending on if I'm getting tired or not. All my social media links are going to be in the description below. I am most active on Twitter. Hit me up in the Discord. Help us build our community. Also, are you a small streamer? Are you a small content creator? You're looking to build your brand. You're looking to grow. You're looking to collaborate with other streamers and creators. Head on over to the description and check out the Discord server, Stream Powered. Link is in the description. We are a Discord server specifically to help small creators, small streamers grow and beat the algorithm. So you are free to self promote, you're free to share your content, you're free to collaborate with other people in the group that are streamers and creators, and there's a lot of sub channels in there as well. So just posting the right stuff and follow the rules, which the only rules are don't be an asshole and no spamming. So anyways, guys, I will see you in the next one, and hope to see you in the chat on Twitch. Have a good night.